Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another edition, or first edition of 2024 of Café Scientifique. My name is Flavio Santos. I'm a lecturer here in BSPI, and I'm really excited for this year because it's starting really big, right? So we have here, let's give a round of applause for Café Scientifique and our guests to be here. We have Mr. Anton Svergun.
That's correct.
That's correct?
Yes.
Yay! For management events.
Yes.
So, as always, we are having first our little discussion here about the power of communication, our topic today. And then after our discussion, we'll open for the questions of the audience, okay?
Sounds good.
Great. Are you ready? Let's go. So, let's start with a little bit of your introduction. Tell us a little bit about yourself, how your everyday looks like in management events.
Introduction. I'm 15 years in sales. Past 10 years I'm in leadership roles. And that was a bit natural move from lone wolf, I would say, into more supporting others. And why that move has happened, because I have noticed that I get a lot of pleasure to help others to grow, to develop, and not to make the mistakes I did in my early career. And since then I try to master my leadership skills, and since then I'm even earlier interested in the power of communication. Because in sales, in good consultative sales, this is very important. This is the way you can connect to human, not to the job title. And this is the way people can build trustworthy relationships with you.
Oh, that's very beautiful. And what does that relate to the position you have? What is your position there?
My position at this moment is Regional Manager DACH.
Okay.
So what does this position entails? I'm responsible for different teams, from member engagement, member commitment, as well as the execution of all social gatherings which we are organizing in the DACH region. So Switzerland, Austria, and Germany.
Switzerland, Austria, and Germany. Can
Correct.
I ask how many people is under your umbrella?
Right now I'm overseeing roughly 24 people.
24?
24, and the plan for this year is to triple the amount.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Good numbers, big numbers,
Big
right?
numbers, yes.
Very good.
Indeed.
Congratulations.
Let's see how it will
Yeah.
go. Hiring is a big topic.
Very good. Well, how is your everyday routine with them? How your everyday look like working with Anton if I would be your employee, for example?
It depends a bit in which team you are of mine. When we're talking about member engagement people, network growth management people, key client management people, the routine will be the team is hybrid, and this is fairly new to every one of us. So 4 years maybe before COVID time, the remote work was very far away. And in the past couple of years, I had the opportunity to work 100% remote.
Okay.
And I have also noticed how much more complicated and complex it is to build the team spirit, team culture, the open feedback mentality within that type of the setup. So every morning we start with a powerful stand-up, which means we all join either in physical offices if you're physically in the space, or from the remote. And we practice talking to each other.
Okay.
In the different scenarios. So for example, let's imagine that this is a cold call, or this is the key client manager call when you have the trustworthy relationship already, or we practice how to open any type of conversation.
Wow.
So in order for people to remember how to talk, and in order to people to follow certain type of rhythm and pace.
And to keep up a conversation, I guess, right?
Yeah.
It's not only to start, but how to keep the conversation and the flow going, I guess, right?
The flow, the structure, the tonation, we will cover most of that later today in the talk, I assume.
Nice. Uh-huh.
So many people think that conversation or powerful communication can be a talent, and I am a strong believer that this is just a skill setup.
Okay.
Skill setup, repetition, certain structure, and making sure that you put an effort on different ways of communication.
Yeah. And if I pronounce it correct, this is management events. That's the name of the company, right?
That's correct. Yes.
And what is the main product of it? What are you guys selling? To give some context for our audience.
To answer, Management Events is a Finnish company. We're 30 years in the business of networking, in the business of conferencing. And within the past couple of years, we drastically shift the whole business approach of the way we do the business. Mm-hmm. With the time of the pandemic, we have noticed that people don't really want or can to visit physical events. And we have decided to shift certain parts of our networking into the online world. And how it works right now, we are focusing on C-level Fortune 500 companies in Europe. My specific role would be the DACH region. Mm-hmm. And within that region, we focus on top IT functions. Either it's CISO, either it's head of enterprise architecture, either it's head of cybersecurity, that type of job titles. And we try to show them the value of our platform, which is physical events.
Okay.
In different type of setups. Either it's executive days where we gather very highlighted speakers from the industry, mm-hmm. to the top names. Last year it was Simon Sinek, Adam Grant, to that level.
Wow.
As well as some virtual events where people can listen to the podcasts, where people can watch recordings like we're doing right now.
Nice.
And on top of that, we have also certain social gatherings. And this year for DACH, our main focus is pretty high-level spots, like Michelin star restaurants only.
Okay.
14, 15-year-old castles in combination with the topics which we're covering, which is robotic process automation and generative AI. Mm-hmm. It's a nice contrast as well.
Yeah.
And a great experience for our audience to be there. So we bring these people together to our platform to communicate and to spar with each other. And on the same time, we give them the opportunity to scan the market, because they are holding huge budgets. Yeah. Tens, hundreds of millions of budgets are in their portfolio on a yearly basis.
Very good.
And we have to save their time how to screen the market.
Very
and
good.
How do we do that? We connect them with the vendors based on their needs. Either you're looking for certain cloud solutions or the security for your cloud integration, for example. We will connect you with AWS, we will connect you with Azure, with Microsoft, with all the people who offer the best cloud solutions on the industry.
That's interesting, because at the same time that you were starting our conversation talking about the empowering communication skills of your team, you also do this for the industry. Am I correct?
That's exactly the case, because if you look at the top C-level executives in the industry, they are all interested in the same things. They are interested to gain the knowledge from people who are in their industry, at the same time to see how they can learn from other industries.
Wow.
And on top of that, they have to scan the market.
Yeah. And this after COVID-19. which completely shaped the market, as I guess.
Yes.
And how does the power of communication, which is the topic of our talk, right, has changed in this context? How do you think it has changed in this communication in the digital world, for example?
I would relate it not only to the COVID-19, I would relate it to the whole new generation which we are facing right now with the internet all over us.
Mm-hmm.
So if we look at the studies and if we look at the time span of 20, 30 years, the focus time 30 years ago was around 20 minutes. So everyone could focus for 20 minutes time.
I see this in classrooms, okay? It
Yeah.
is the crazy.
Yeah. 20 minutes focus. And if we're looking at the current studies today, this is a bit staggering. We're talking about 3.5 minutes.
3.5 minutes of attention.
3.5 minutes of the attention.
You see?
And when we look what is happening around that, we used to have certain ways of communication before. And today, we have so many different channels which are waterfalling at us. And I think sometimes we underestimate that more channels of communication doesn't mean more quality of the communication.
This is powerful.
For the reason that right now, the generation we have right now, it's about the instant reactions, instant double taps, instant swipes. And to a certain extent, we lose the core communicational principles, which were with us for hundreds and millions of years. And due to the transition, and very drastic and fast transition, if we take a look how the communication was evolved, if we are looking million years ago, we had two ways of communication: body language and the tone of voice. Then, 100,000 years ago, we added words. So we had 3 channels of communication. A couple of thousand years ago, we have added written text. So we started to communicate as well via books, via messages. So we had 4 channels of communication. And then the Industrial Revolution came. So we got newspapers, we got radio, we got telefax, and then the Internet of Things, then the Internet came. So we got multi-channel communication with the Internet, and today's, besides the telephone, besides the smartphone, the social media in all the ways. And if you look at the time which we have spent in the classical way of communication, which is body language, tonation, words, and the text, we have spent there thousands of years. And when we're looking at the new way of communication, we are talking less than 2 decades.
Yeah.
We're talking peanuts in that sense.
We're in the beginning, right?
Yeah, we're in early the beginning. And to a certain extent, we lose the opportunities to learn the way we used to communicate. Because we spent quite some time at our desks, in front of the laptops, in the Teams, in the chats, in the chat GPTs.
Yes.
And on top of that, how much time do we spend on our sofas or somewhere else screening the phone? So in that domain, I think the need and necessity of clear communication, either it's through the live gathering or through the hybrid channels is very important these days.
And this word hybrid is popping up everywhere right now. You just came for a meeting where your team is completely away, right? And now you have face-to-face interaction. And this was possible because remote work came to the conversation, right? Came to the discussion. And this changes also the way we involved, the way we communicate to each other, right? So how do you see this shift from, for example, you work with a team that is completely in different countries, and how communication has a flow in this context?
In the past couple of years, I had the opportunity to work remote 100%. And in certain way, I was very glad that I can work in the sweatpants.
Yeah, in the pajamas, right?
In the pajamas, and then you're booted and suited on top. And the setup, the remote work setup in that organization was fantastic. I have never seen a better remote setup ever before. So we were working in the metaverse. So it was a full gamification of the office. We had the sales floor where you can walk in. We had the marketing floor, product floor, and all the departments there. And you have a ma'am with whom you can navigate through that. When you come to someone, the video pops up. So you can have the normal conversation with the video. We had a call island as well. We could shadow the calls, the sales calls live. So if salesperson is pitching someone, you could shadow the type of call and give comments and suggestions as well in a real life time. At the same time, I have noticed that engaging with the online audience, especially with a team, with more than 2-3 people, is evolving 5 to 10 times more energy of mine in order to keep the audience listening, interacting, proacting, because I am very limited in my body language.
Okay.
I'm very limited in my tonation because the quality of the mic, the quality of the speaker, of the receiver is not on the level like we're talking right now. You don't see your full body. You don't know what is the reaction of the audience. Are they listening? Are they not listening? So in that way, you set up the whole meetings differently. It's much more ping-pong game. It's giving and taking. It's much more tasking certain things in advance and making bundles in the teams for 5 to 10 minutes to present something to each other, to bring the outcome, and then present again in a larger audience. My personal view on the hybrid setup and live setup, I'm a big fan of Amazon here. The way they run their meetings is mind-blowing for me. They come to the meeting, which is 1 hour, and first 20 minutes of the meeting, they just read the agenda of the meeting.
Okay.
Everyone in the room. Because everyone knows who has been attending different meetings with a long pre-reads. Half of the audience usually in the meeting doesn't read the document.
Don't even know why is there, right?
The 30%, they don't know why they're in that room.
Why?
And when there is the meeting moderator who took their time to prepare very profound and explicit document for 3-4 pages, not the PowerPoint, because PowerPoint is easy for the presenter, but this is not easy for the receptor.
Okay.
And when you do a profound document which can be understood by everyone the same way, you bring it into the team, everyone spends 20 minutes of their time in that room to read through the document, to make the notes, and then to have an open discussion about that. I think this is the best way to make that type of hybrid meetings effective.
And what are the challenges you see? You told me that now it's getting more complicated to keep our audience engaged, especially in the digital area,
Yeah.
right? So what are these challenges that you see that we should overcome in a way that, okay, most of my students are from digital marketing,
Yeah.
and they should engage with their audience.
Yeah.
They are sometimes they don't even know themselves face to face. So what are the skills, or let's say, what are the challenges and skills that they should be aware that they should take care to get engagement or to engage with a conversation with them?
What I see right now, when I look at my portfolio and the outreach channels we use, and we use many different outreach channels to engage with our customer, especially when it comes to the sales-related jobs. From one side, marketing wants to deliver the best leads, most qualified leads for our sales team. At the same time, what we see that the highest conversion rate today is cold calling.
Okay.
And taking in consideration my potential buyer, my potential audience, who is the C-level executive of Fortune 500 companies in DACH, that would be 2% of the whole population.
Okay.
These people receive 50 to 80 cold calls a day. These people receive...
Which is, we need to point it out, it's a lot of calls, right?
It's a lot of calls, and this is cold calls.
Yes.
These are not the calls from the people they know.
love that people are interested about, right?
Exactly. These are the people who are not saved in their phone book.
Exactly.
And they get roughly 300 emails
Wow.
a day, either through personal assistant or directly. And out of the 50 to 80 calls a day, they pick up 5.
Okay.
And there you can play wisely with the time you try to reach them out. From my point of view on the C-level executives, that would be 7 to 9 in the morning.
Okay.
And 5 to 7 in the evening.
Okay.
Or lunchtime. That's
Okay.
the best time to reach.
The time they're not working, I guess, right?
The time that they are not busy into the meetings.
Okay.
Because I think their day is not much different comparing to my day.
Mm-hmm.
During my normal working day, 70% of my time I spent in meetings, which is 30 to 35 hours a week. I don't have the opportunity to pick up my phone, and I don't want to pick up my phone because I want to be engaged with the people with whom I'm in the meeting.
Yeah.
And when we come back to the C-level executive and the 5 calls they pick up, whom do they talk to? Out of the 5 people who reaches them out, they will talk to one person. And who would be that person? That person would be someone who is genuinely interested about them, who is touching on their feelings.
Feelings. Mm-hmm.
Who is touching through the energy, through the clear messaging, and through the empathy. When you have good vibes and good energy in your messaging, people believe in what you say because you believe in what you say. When you're clear about your messaging, there can be no misunderstandings what you wanted to say with your statement. And when you put a lot of empathy, they will trust you.
There is a trust at the end.
At the end, there is a trust. And my job is to equip my team with that type of tool set up, how to engage with the person whose day you interrupt their day. They treat you as a threat. They don't want to be bothered. They don't know who you are.
Yeah.
They don't know what you want from them and why you're calling them.
How do you get their numbers sometimes, right?
How do you get the numbers? That's a different story as well. And when you're looking at the potential buyer not as the CRM job title, if you're genuinely interested, what is there, what could be of their potential interest, and why this person will be talking to me, and how can I address it in 20 seconds message to win a couple of more minutes of their time to listen to me, and what type of questions shall I ask that they will get intrigued. And this is a combination of the skill setup, of the communication skills, and of course about human touch. You have to be honest and you have to be human, because people buy from people.
Yeah. Is timing important in this context? Because you have mentioned something very powerful for me, especially for us that they are thinking with digital marketing in our heads.
Yeah.
You said something like, I need to get my audience in the first 20 seconds for them to listen the next 3 minutes, right? Which is exactly what we're trying to do in social media.
Yeah.
So is this timing, how relevant is this timing? How do you, or give me an example, this will be better. Like, how do you get this 20 seconds?
Yeah.
How do you approach this first 20 seconds?
First of all, you have to convert every cold call into the warm call.
Okay.
If you don't do that, we are all mammals. We don't like strangers.
Yeah.
And you need to build a small bridge and to win first trust. If I call you and I tell you, hey Flavio, my name is Anton, I'm calling from management events, and the reason I'm reaching you out because we have a very powerful network of C-level executives, and I would like to understand if this would be of interest for you, right? You fell asleep.
I already say, hey Anton, bye-bye.
Exactly.
Ciao.
Brush off, immediate brush off.
I feel that.
Yeah. And when I call and I say, hello Flavio.
Yeah.
Nice you picked up on me.
Okay.
Really great that I reached you out. Flavio, the reason I called you, I've been talking to a colleague of you a second ago. His name is Sunny. And he was talking highly about you in your new role as the C-level executive of IBM. Congrats on that role, first of all.
Thank you so much.
Flavio, why I'm calling you? Because I'm working with certain C-level executives from your competitors, like Intel, like Amazon, and what they've been telling me right now, that at their desk for 2024 is AI topic, cybersecurity, and lack of talent. And I'm reaching out to you to understand if you're also related to those.
Oh my God, I relate too much to those. Actually, it's my everyday life.
This is great to hear, because what I'm doing, I'm bringing the C-level executives, as you are, under one umbrella to discuss how they can learn from each other and how they can navigate through the 2024 the most executive way.
Nice.
And this is the difference in two openings when the messaging is actually the same.
Guys, we didn't plan this on. Let's clap our hands to him. These guys, really good. Very interesting, very nice. So, but on the phone, we have, you mentioned the power of non-verbal aspects that we have here.
Yeah.
And then I look to you, and then I see your energy. I can
Yeah.
see that you're coming to me, your
Yeah.
verbal, your non-verbal communication.
Yeah.
is telling me something, and then I also go with my nonverbal communication to you.
Towards me.
Exactly. What about on the phone? I mean, let's do the other way around, since we already talked about the phone. What about places you cannot see nonverbal communication, or let's take a look to the power of the nonverbal communication in this context?
Very good question. When we're looking at the classical communication in life, we're talking the certain proportion between different communication techniques. So 65% would be the body language.
Okay.
25% to 30% will be your intonation.
Okay.
And
this is already almost 90, right?
Exactly. And less than 10% will be the what you say.
Content. Oh, wow.
This is the classical proportion.
Okay.
And this is a proven fact. When we are jumping into the call, even without the video, the split would be 70 to 75% of how you say, the tonation. Then another 20% would be on the wording and the text, and then the rest.
Mm-hmm.
And in that sense, and many people, I see that on an everyday job, many people undervalue and underestimate the power of tonation and the power of poses in communication. That's the most powerful tool we have, and that's one of the oldest tools in communication setup that humanity has.
As important is what you say is what we don't say. Is it true? Can I think like that? Am I correct?
Very good comment, Flavio. What you
took me 1 second.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It took me 1 second to get there.
What we have to be careful what we say, because with the communication we have the power of stating something, and the words might be interpreted very different way. So we have to be very precise on the wording and how we put the tonation there.
Mm-hmm.
Coming back to your question, the power of poses, posing in between, posing in the meantime, is groundbreaking. And I can give an example on that. Let's take a sentence. Let's pick up one. The biggest decisions in your life will be based on your feelings, Flavio.
Mm-hmm.
That's one way of saying that. And let's try to interpret it a longer pose here. The biggest decision of your life, Flavio, will be based on your feelings. How do you feel?
The second one is more dramatic, and there is a feeling there. I can feel, because feeling is about feelings, right? So I can feel that there is my attention is more attached to the second version of it because of the pause, of course, because there is this drama, and then kind of you are pushing up my energy, and then you give a boom.
Yeah.
Kind of storytelling.
And this is one of the examples how you can develop the communication skill, only with poses.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, we can add certain high pitches, we can add the tonation, we can add the body language, we can add the eye contact, we can add the smile. And in complex, all of that will create emotional feelings in you. And you can open someone up only via emotions,
Yeah.
or via person talking to you and you asking them the right setup of questions.
Okay.
because people mostly believe themselves.
Yeah. We are biased, right?
Of course.
We are super biased. Which leads me to managers, which leads me to CEO managers. They are the most biased ones, right? And tell me a case of professional experience or a case of success that you usually tell your mates, the people you train, to talk about communication. Share one experience with us of how you communicate better with them. What do you have learned all those years to get their attention?
Let's pick up some. I will start with the sales and the way I have closed the biggest deal in my career.
Oh, nice. Let's go.
I entered the company, I look through the contacts, I see the target accounts, and I see one very big company. I talk to the account managers and I'm asking them what's happening with this account, and they say they don't want to buy. They just don't want to buy from us. We are reaching out to them, but they're not really active on that. And then I look deeper into that account. I look with whom we have been contacted, what has been happening there, and I see that the bridges are a bit burnt, and the doors are locked.
Okay.
And then I try to understand how can I get to that company through some daughter companies. And I find that they have a daughter company in Russian-speaking countries, and I'm Ukrainian, I can speak Russian.
Okay.
And I approach the company through the side door.
Oh.
And I create there a small business case. I sell them a small package, they are happy with the result, their e-retail store increases by 3%, they are happy with our software solutions, and I just keep it there. In the meantime, I knock through all other doors in Germany and Netherlands, and I'm building the relationships with assistants, with personal assistant of certain C-level people.
Okay.
And I care about them. I know where they go for their vacation. I know the names of their kids.
Oh, wow.
I know why they are in a good or a bad mood that or another day. And I do that from the bottom of my heart. And when you build that type of relationship, they are open to help. And handwritten cards helps as well.
Okay.
When I receive personally these days a handwritten card, I feel very touched.
Nice.
And I think everyone in this room will be also touched if they get a handwritten card instead of a WhatsApp text.
True.
And I have built certain relationship with certain individuals in that company, and I was knocking in the door consistently. Because the people who could have helped me to understand if they would like to buy from me were not existing in that company. And then at certain point of my engagement, I got a call from the personal assistant, and she told me, Anton, we have hired head of digital. You might be interested in talking to that gentleman. I approached that gentleman with a buy-side referral through another company with whom I have the business already for almost 9 months' time. So he trusts me already a bit more. And I was able to book a meeting with that person. And what I have done in the first 3 meetings with that gentleman was trying to understand their needs, trying to understand what they want to achieve, how they are going to achieve that, what will be the outcome of that, and what can happen as the roadblocks on their way. 3 meetings.
Yeah.
Afterwards, we had already trustworthy relationship with that person because he could see that I'm there not to sell. I'm there to help. I'm there to understand and to support. And we have compiled a certain case study which he was able to present to the board of members, board of the directors. And in the meantime, I knew a lot of personal details about my champion. We call this type of people champion.
Okay, okay.
Because that person is very connected to you. He understands the need of the product, and he can evangelize the product internally. I knew how many times he has been to Maldives with his family, what he likes, where he likes to dive, why he likes Amsterdam channels, and what type of boat he had to buy in order to pass through that channels with his kids. I know a lot of his private life as well. He does about mine.
Okay.
For the same reason, because it is important for me, because I'm naturally curious and I care.
Yeah.
And then that when you build that type of relationship, these people will always be happy to talk to you because they like you. They will never ghost you because they trust you. And he approached me saying, Anton, I need your help in presentation because you know the product details much better, how I can do that to the member of the board. After 12 months of that journey, they decided to integrate our product in their portfolio, and we are talking about multi-million annual recurring revenue.
It was the biggest one so far.
Yes.
So far.
So far.
And just as a side note, okay?
Yeah.
Just a side note. The reason you are here today was exactly the same feeling I felt for you. I was in a meeting, a presentation of Anton here for BSBI in our career fair. And I was like, this guy needs to talk to my students about communication because I felt trust in it. I felt this connection on you, and I think in a world that we are talking about speeding up, there's someone that's talking about pausing. There's someone that's talking about, hey, we should slow down a little with our communication, not speed up. I think this is an important lesson. Thank you so much for coming, for accepting it, which reminds me of leadership at some point, right? In this context of, imagine I manage 22 people, and I need to communicate to these people our goals, our huge targets like this one, or our challenges.
Yeah.
So how, now speaking internally, right, how to be a leader and how communication plays this role as a leader, which is a question for many. A lot of leaders don't know how to communicate, right? So what is the tip for our students that will be future leaders maybe?
Yeah. I see the communication as the most important skill, not only for leaders, but for every single individual. Either you communicate on the business scene, or you communicate with your parents or with your partners. When it comes to the leadership, I can give you an example how I joined this company. I entered the room after I was hired, and I have a bunch of people there. And they have zero trust in me. They don't know what to expect. So they hide and they block me.
And you are the leader, right? We're already very distant.
Yeah, you have certain power.
Yeah.
And what did I do? First of all, I took every single individual in my team for 1.5 hour walk. And I wanted to understand who they are as people. I can check the numbers in the database. I can check the KPIs on the sheets. I need to understand what is motivating them to be here and how I can help and support them to grow in their current roles and in their careers to reach what they want to reach in their lives. The next step, what I have done, I have asked everyone in my team to answer 10 questions. What in their eyes is a high-performing team? And they're smart individuals.
Mm-hmm.
I received 60 pages of text.
Oh God.
And-
Good luck.
And out of the 60 pages of text, I compiled a brainstorming session with everyone of my team. How can we steer and navigate the ship based on their thoughts? Based on their thoughts, me as a captain, and me who is steering through the stones and waterfalls to reach to the company goal, and most important, their individual goals. I could have came up there and saying, hello guys, I'm the new boss here.
Follow me.
You listen,
Follow me.
follow me, and this is how we will do that. But what will it create? It will create tension.
I'm already
It
shaking,
will
right?
create insecurity. It will create fear. As I mentioned before, we are mammals.
Mm-hmm.
What do animals do when they are afraid?
Push back.
They push back or they attack if they can.
Mm-hmm.
And this is exactly opposite what I want to build as a team culture, as a team spirit in my team. And that's why inclusion is the most important. And based on that, you build the team culture, you build the team spirit, you care about their needs, and you build on that. People, process, revenue.
People, process, revenue.
Yes.
People, process, revenue.
You take care of the people, of their well-being, of them being happy, because when they are happy, they are productive, they are motivated, and they will go an extra mile.
Okay.
You support them with the processes, which are crystal clear.
Okay.
You support them with time management tools.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do these two things well, the outcome, the revenue, is just a matter of time.
It's an interesting model. Very interesting. Should talk more. But also to be a leader is how you not only how you communicate to your colleagues, to your team, but is there like a how important is the public speaking? Because I have some presentations even today, and then I see some of my students saying, "Oh my God, I need to improve my public speaking."
Yeah.
And I'm shaking. How can I help you? How can I help them with that? How do you think leaders or even students that will probably be leaders one day, they can improve these skills as well?
Very good question, Flavio. Many we have covered. I'll try to summarize it a bit here. So, detonation. You should also take care of words per minute. And that's, for me, this is one of the KPIs.
I was about to say the same.
For me, this is one of the KPIs when I listen to the recorded calls or look at the presentations. We are talking about 160, 170 words per minute. If you're talking about something serious and you want to engage more, you slow down.
Yeah.
Because when you slow down, people are more listening to you. Then on top, you play with the poses. On top of that, you play with the gestures. What to do with the hands, right? What do I do with the hands?
Where do I put it?
When I go on stage, do I do that? Do I do that? Do I do the bunny? One bunny, double bunny? Yeah? Do I do the peacock?
Yeah, the ones that hide behind.
What do I do with the hands? And you should just be natural. And when you do that with your hands on the stage, that means that you're vulnerable, that you welcome people. If you do that with your hands, that means you state something. So you're not debatable much. If you overdo that, you're insecure.
What I do with that? Because this I'm a Latin American, is very similar to Italians. It's like, guys, you know.
This you take.
Let's forget, right? Okay.
You rather forget
better,
that.
better.
So
I learned something new
what
today.
need you do with your gestures? You need just to do what you have to do. You have to do articulative gesturing. You count, you show, you showcase. And that increases the power of communication drastically.
Okay. That's very important.
Another one is eye contact. Let's imagine this scenario. You are the senior sales executive. You get a call from the VP of sales, and she's texting you, Flavio, in 1 hour, a very important key client is coming into the office. 3 people. And I'm double booked. You have to take care. They might buy our solution. You don't know them. You're junior, and you have to take care of them. And here I would like to talk about the first impression.
Yeah.
According to the Belgian University of Body Language, or the Department of the University of Body Language, the first impression lasts in 70% of the cases. So you rather be happy and welcoming them. And then your hands are sweaty, your heart is pumping.
You are shaking?
You're shaking. You need to control your breath. You bring them to the room. You know already what to do with your hands. And the eye contact starts. You should look in everyone's eye for 3 seconds. You build the connection and you nod to the next one. You build the connection and you nod to the next one. If you look at someone longer, let's imagine that our customer came as the CEO of the company, head of purchasing department, and some marketing person. And you are addressing all the messages only to the CEO, and that's a nice looking lady. Head of purchasing department and the marketing person immediately feel excluded. They are not connected to you anymore. And that's not good for the head of purchasing, right? If you're connected only with the CEO and you're staring at her, either you're aggressive or you're showing lust. So either you want to kill her or you want to make babies with her.
Yeah, okay. Which is sometimes in the same direction as well, right?
And both of that is not very good in business environment.
No.
So take care of the eye contact and how you work with your eyes.
Very interesting. What about empathy?
Yeah.
What is this role? Because in all our session, you were talking about I should have sensibility, I should connect, I should understand feelings, which reminds of this powerful word, empathy, right? Put myself on the shoes of someone else, which you already did in having 3 meetings with your client. There's not even your client yet, right? Just to understand what are the problems. So what is the role to do that in the power, on the moment of context of communication?
When you are talking to your partner or to your colleague, quite often you can shout by not so much reasons. There is something small happening.
Yeah.
Wrong email or wrong comment of your partner at home, and you shout out. The reason you do that is not that exact moment, but something what has been happening before. and something with a trigger for that type of the reaction. Something with the trigger, something is not letting you be comfortable, and you shoot this out. When we are bringing this to a work context, and you're not empathic, you're just business oriented, people will not open up to you.
Okay.
And when they're not opening up to you, you will not understand what is behind that. You will not understand how you can support them. You will not understand what do they dream about and how you can combine. I always try to hybridize professional and private with my people, because we spend 8 hours of work minimum at work. We spend less time with our wives and husbands than with some colleagues of ours,
Yes,
right?
for sure.
And if we don't understand how they function, how can we make sure that we can build a trustworthy, deep relationship to achieve our goals? So I always work with my people about what they want to achieve in their private life, what does it mean for them, and how I can support them with the professional growth, with the company needs and business KPIs to get there. And only through that path you can open the hearts of people. You have to be open to them, and they will be open to you.
Definitely.
And then you can set up as well. I remember my first empathetical example when I was a team leader. I connected the commercial goals of the person to buying a new vinyl DJ set for him, because that was important for him, and that was a price ticket of a couple thousands of euros. And we have created a roadmap and a plan what he has to do in commission and which time frame in order to be ready for his next set.
Which reminds me of my last question to you. What advice would you give to students of Berlin School of Business and Innovation to understand the power of communication? And because you said something about professional development, and I want to match these three topics, right? Students, professional development, and the power of communication. What would be your advice for students? Teacher, I want to get a job. I have an interview to do. And then you see the power of communication coming as an important thing. So what would be your advice for my students that are here watching us today?
Please keep in mind that no one was born as a talented communicator.
Oh.
It's a skill, and we can grow that skill. And we can grow that skill via talking to the mirror, active listening, listen to understand, but not to respond. I have heard quite often people were coming to me and saying, I'm good in speaking. I'm a good sales manager. If you want to be successful in communication, you have to be good at listening, in active listening, in understanding what is behind that, in understanding why it is important for them, and only secondary about how you will deliver your message. So please practice active listening, I would say. Then just practice in front of the mirror with your phone, record your tone of voice, run through that again, and see how satisfied you are. If we're looking at the example of professional YouTubers or very good actors, when you look at a multi-million podcaster and their video of 20 minutes, how to life hack your life, how to get out of the ditch and spend every day 1 hour in trainings.
Yeah.
It sounds easy and their words come very appealing.
Yes.
Usually behind that words, we're talking about 60 to 100 hours of work for every single word which is coming out of their mouth. There is a tremendous work done.
Yep.
When we're talking about the professional actors who are acting on stage for movies, good actor is reading a script 500 times. That's what makes a good actor a good actor. And that's what makes a powerful communicator a good one.
Yay. Guys, let's give it up for Anton. I'm pretty sure you have your questions. I need a microphone. Who wants to have questions? So have one here, please. Tell us your name and your question, okay?
Hi, so my name is Swayam. I am studying international business management in this college. I had a question for you. I have heard this a lot of times that if you're not in sales, you're still selling something. Like if you're in finance and like asset management something, you're selling yourself to your client. So do you believe in this statement? And if yes, could you like give me tips how to sell myself better to maybe a client, or maybe if I have a business, how do I sell myself in general, like to even an interviewer?
Thank you for the question, Soya. Very good question. Every time you open your mouth, you want that your words get delivered to the person you're talking to exactly the same way how they were interpreted by you. So every time you open your mouth and you talk to someone, you're selling. In that sense, the power of communication is crucial. Respect the person whom you're talking to, respect their time, avoid the noise, avoid any type of disruption which are appearing in our lives. When you have a conversation with someone and your phone rings, you pick up the phone, right? Do you have to pick up the phone, or you have to pick up the communication? You have to pick up the communication because person in front of you is spending her or his time while listening to you. Respect that time and use that time. Avoid the digital noise because it's very overwhelming these days.
For sure.
And we tend not to respect the live communication as we used to do before. On top of that, work on certain communication skills. Work on easy sentences, work on short messaging, and work on empathy a lot.
Next question. Oh, here.
Hello.
Hi.
First of all, thank you for coming. My name is Athar and I am in digital marketing. And second of all, love the hairstyle, love the beard. Now, my question is a little bit like longer and it's related to leadership. You talked about trust, empathy. We talked about physical presence, like how it matters, like people who are actually conversing.
Yeah.
How much does it elevate their level of trust if they're in the same physical space? In your role as a leader, you
Yeah.
manage 24 people,
Yeah.
I think you said. How much does it get lost? Trust, empathy, emotions, pheromones. In one study, it says. How much does it get lost in digital communication?
Yeah.
And during COVID, digital communication was not an option; it was a necessity. How do you leverage what is lost with something that you might have to compensate the lost items for? And what are those items? That's point number one. And the second one is, would you prefer managing a huge team online, or would you prefer, and it's a yes or no question, there's no middle ground, would you prefer a hybrid or completely remote management? And the third one probably is, you mentioned one of the biggest deals that you have already closed.
Yeah.
Could you give us an example of a communication mishap where you completely messed up? And what did you do?
Yeah.
Good luck.
Thank you, Arthur. Let's start with the first one. The first one was about how do I communicate with the team in the hybrid setup, how I leverage the communication. When I joined this company, my ideal scenario was that I'm 100% remote. I enjoy my garden, I enjoy jumping in my pond every morning, and that type of stuff. Now I have to wake up earlier to do so, because I'm in the office 4 times a week. And when I was negotiating my offer, it was pretty clear to my CEO that I want to be remote. When I entered the office, I saw the team, I saw the setup and the construction work which has to be done. I realized not an option as for now. Right now I have teams across different countries and I travel. Last quarter I have been traveling every second week. Every second week I was either in Amsterdam or in Helsinki or in Stockholm. And I've been traveling to talk to my guys, to have lunch with them, to sit on the Amsterdam Channel, to look at the boats and to talk about their future and how they see that, to understand what they value in life. And in that way, I can leverage a bit the digital space which we're facing every day. On top of that, I communicate sometimes to them with no reason. I'm just asking, hey Carl, how are you? How was your day? And they see that I care, and they value that. That's the first question. The second question was?
I think it answered that.
It
So
answered that, yeah.
Would you prefer online or physical management?
I would prefer the hybrid because it gives as well the opportunity for people to work remote sometimes, to travel a bit. We are opening the office right now in Barcelona, and we are not entering the Spanish market. We just opened the office in Barcelona. And the reason for that, why not, right? And the reason for that is that everyone can travel and work from Barcelona because it's just a bit warmer
It's
there.
better.
Yeah.
Come on.
The last one. Give us an example where you completely messed up the communication thing, and how did you recover?
Good one, yeah.
When I rush, every time I rush, the communication gets away. Either it's a sales or it's onboarding the new person in the company, or it's the wrong time for onboarding new person in the company, and I learned my lessons hard way when there are a couple of new starters in my team and I'm traveling 3 weeks in a row. I connect with them from taxi, from my laptop, on my run, and that goes back to the question which was asked before. I'm not 100% there for them. I'm not connected. They don't see the sense why. They don't understand why. Either it's a customer or either it's a team member of mine. When you rush and you speed up things and you think you know it, you assume. And in a communication, you never assume. You ask if you have uncertainty. And if you have another uncertainty, you ask again. And if you don't understand the answer, you ask why it is important for them. Then you will understand what does it mean for them. And when you understand what does it mean for them, they will feel hurt. And when they will feel hurt, they will open to you.
Thank you.
Any other question? Here, please. Can you pass the microphone? Yep. You have a question as well? Okay.
Hello, my name is Ray. First of all, thank you for the amazing conversation. You were saying earlier that emotions and empathy is the most important thing in communication, but we're seeing nowadays the growth in the usage of AI in communication. So what are your thoughts on that, and what do you think will be the future of AI in communications?
Very good topic
Mm-hmm.
and very good case. AI is a very powerful tool. I use AI every day. And I think it can help a lot in communication, in helping to prepare the presentation, in helping to prepare a sales speech, in everything in your life. In order to do so, you have to prompt AI very carefully. And what I have noticed with my experience and expertise in sales, that you have to have a skill set when it comes how to prompt the AI, that it gives you the result which will be on the level I require. And for that, the communication skills are still required, especially in this digital age, because when you communicate via chat, via email, or via any type of texting tool in such a fast-paced environment, you have to be very crisp and structured in your thinking. Because if you're not, we're not computers. We just throw up certain things. Either it's AI, either it's a colleague, or it's a WhatsApp chat. And the AI is a computer, is data. And it works very structured way. And I think in that sense, it helps a lot to be more structured and organized and focused for us using that tool wisely. How the future looks? I think future looks bright in the sense that it can give you much more powerful tools, like Samsung S24 was released yesterday, and it has the recording option with summarizing text. Google Chrome with their Google phones, I think, integrated that couple of months ago, that you go on a web page and you ask a summary of a web page. Can it be misused or overused? Yes, for sure. Can you get an understanding of the book while reading the summary?
Yes and no.
Yes and no, right? Can you really make it practical in your real life if you just read a book summary? Maybe, if you read before 20 similar books. So that's my view on that.
And now we have another one here.
All right, first of all, thank you for coming today. I have to appreciate the thing, because speaking for so long with so much patience, it's not easy. Like, I see a lot of people struggling with that. So it's like communication is the key, and we see that it's the solution to the most problems. So, and you have mastered that skill, I see. So to what percentage you think you are replaceable?
I always tell to my team members that the main challenge to be at work is to become irreplaceable. I think everyone is replaceable.
Yeah, that's what I said. To what extent you think even after mastering a skill you are replaceable?
You mean mastering the skill of
Communication.
Oh, I'm far away from that. I'm very far away from that.
Okay.
And I think that's what pushes me forward. I spent every day roughly 1.5 hours on self-development.
Okay.
Roughly 1.5 hour of taking care of myself, taking care of my well-being here and here, and then on top of that, self-development. And I encourage everyone to do the same, because if you don't develop, you stagnate.
Yeah.
True.
Thank you.
Any other question? We have one question here. I can help you with that. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Anton. was really informational. And I would like to actually want to share one real life experience of mine. As like a couple of weeks back, I was like stand for student presidentship and for post-graduation program. So in that situation, I have to record one video that should be heard after 2 or 3 days when election going to happen in front of 40, 50 people. And it never happened before to me. So I was like, you said like, if you go for an interview or something, you should try record your video or ask yourself and in front of mirror. I used to do that.
Yeah.
But this thing is totally different because I don't know what kind of impact that made in front of students. So I was keep of doing that 1 time, 2 times, and it happens till 25. And I'm not satisfied with that. At that time, I just got one message from my really close person, like, you can do it. I believe in you. And that moment, I made 2 videos, and second video was totally perfect. So I just want to ask, what, like you said, empathy and everything, like emotional feelings, it just happened because of lots of trials, or just because of that emotion I get that someone believe in me?
Both. My WhatsApp status is called repetition is the mother of skill. So combination of trying again and again and again, unconsciously you were asking around you, your vibe was, can someone tell me that I can do that? And I think this is exactly what you were missing. It seems that no one else told you that. And that was exactly the person, that was the last push which created the puzzle. You said, yes, I can do that. You had everything you needed, but you were a bit emotionally touched that you needed a bit of a push in order to make that happen. And that's what exactly happened. And that's why it went well.
And congratulations for that, right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
And
much.
any other question? You have one here and one there. And these are the 2 last ones, if it's fine, okay?
Let me share.
Can you give her the...
Again. So I can.
Yes.
Aha.
So my name is Prachi, and I'm studying digital marketing here. I have a question that may sound a little weird, but it's like more of my related question. This something I would like to work on.
There is no weird question.
Yeah,
Of course.
don't worry.
So I wanted to ask that while communicating with your colleague or in a meeting, there are always some instances where you are having a conversation about a particular thing, and the conversation gets heated up. And this is something that I'm very scared about, and I am working on it. So as a leader, or as somebody who would like to tackle the situation, how would you go ahead and keep it a healthy conversation and not, getting into something very dirty or nasty, or, as I told, it gets heated up.
Great
You know
question.
what I mean.
Great question.
Thank you.
80% of the conflicts appear because of the misinterpretation of the words. That means that there is a bit of a gap, what people want to state or deliver as the message and what you perceive, right? And in that sense, there is a very easy formula which I suggest to use in that type of conversations. Accept the message, isolate the message, and clarify the message. Whatever is stated, just make sure that you have heard it, you isolate it, so what you mean with that is you recap the message. So what you want to say is ta 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 ta. Yeah? And then, okay, so what you're trying to say is that, and that's what will mean to you. did I get you correct or did I get you wrong? And that helps very often to calm down because people get hurt and you really get the message with pretty basic recapitulation skill.
And this is empathy as well.
This is empathy as well because this is active listening.
Yeah.
In that sense. Yeah, I use it a lot. You either recapitulate or you use couple of last words of the sentence people said and you repeat them with a question mark. Or you give a big pause and people start explaining more. It's natural for us, if I answered your question.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good three. Can you come here a little bit so the camera can get you? I'm sorry. There you are. Thank you so much for
Do I need to
helping.
introduce myself here first, or what?
Yes,
Yeah,
of course.
to tell us your name and your
Okay.
question.
My name is Nur Sultan, yeah, and I study here in BSB as a student, as a bachelor student of the business and management.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you are.
Of the business and management, yeah. And so I have like a few questions, yeah, if you don't mind me asking them.
Yes, sure.
So the first one, yeah, like it's about you said like it's the core of all things that you said. It's to be disciplined, yeah. So can you tell me like what's the inspiration to be disciplined? What pushed you to be disciplined, and how do you challenge yourself
Oh yeah.
on other stuff? Like, can you tell me like your experiences, how you faced with the discipline?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great question. I'm very undisciplined.
I was not expecting
I'm
that.
very undisciplined, and that's why I practice that a lot.
You said,
When it goes a bit away from communication topic, but it goes in line because of you need to be disciplined in the way you message, in the way you structure your approach. You have to integrate certain routines in your life, and you should start somewhere. My routine is I wake up every day 4:30 to 5 a.m. I do my gym, I do my stretching, I do my push-ups, I do my pull-ups. It takes 33 to 36 minutes. Then I do cold plunging. Every day I jump into the pond and I spend there 60 seconds. 60 seconds in plus 2 degrees water. Works much better than coffee. I quit coffee 4 months ago. That's the discipline, for example. And then I head towards work. And then I either read the book or I start working already when I go to work. That's my morning disciplined routine. And I don't eat. I eat 1 time a day.
1 time a day?
Yeah. I eat 1 time a day, and I eat in the evening because I want to socialize with my kids and my family, and I eat next day. So it's 24 hours fasting every day, and that's the discipline. And that discipline as well gives me a lot of power and energy. And I don't drink.
That's nice. That's good, actually. Yeah, you kind of inspired me on this. You know, like
Yeah.
so tomorrow I need to wake up at 4:30 and like, you know to repeat after that.
Maybe
Maybe it works, maybe
to
it
go a
doesn't.
bit more into the discipline, how I came up to 24 hours of fasting. I did 2 weeks, or to be more precise, 16 days of water fasting. That also grows your discipline quite some.
So you don't like face with like thoughts, yeah, like for example laziness, and also you just act, yeah, without
Yeah.
thinking anything.
I act, and that disciplines you, because procrastination doesn't help.
Yeah,
No.
that's true. That's
Action
what I'm
helps.
facing with.
Yeah.
You see.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And there are 2 more questions here.
Yeah.
So for example, for like to present like in front of all of the people, yeah, it's quite overcrowded, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. So have you trained before you come here, or you just like go with the flow?
I trained because to answer that, I was very nervous, I was overwhelmed, and I wanted to be over-prepared because I respect your time, everyone who is online and in this group, and I want to deliver certain message to the audience that everyone takes something out of here. Yeah.
Yeah, and probably that's the last question, yeah, I'm going to ask. So, you studied, yeah? Have you graduated from the universities or
Yeah,
something like
I
that?
have. I did it.
What?
I did. I studied MBA,
Mm-hmm.
masters, and I've studied World Heritage Studies as masters as well.
As a bachelor's, what did you study?
International economics.
International economics. Okay, that's quite a good one. Okay, so the thing is, my sister. Okay, that's about my sister, yeah. And I'm thinking like, what would you do if you were her, yeah, in her position? So she studies like medicine, yeah, like medicine universities.
Yeah.
Like she needs to study there like 8 years or 5 years, yeah, something like that. So it's been like 2 years. She's been studying, yeah, and it's quite useless. She feels it, and there are no any ways she can go away from the university because like all these 2 years, yeah, it's going to be waste. So it's better to continue for her. But as a student, how would you upgrade the education of the university? If you feel it like it's wrong, like for example, the students doesn't do anything, the teachers doesn't do anything, and other stuff. What would you do if you were her?
I would quit.
Yeah.
You would.
That
You would
easy,
quit.
right?
I would quit.
Quit.
Yeah.
Tell her to quit.
I would quit, and I would see what do I want to do in life and start from scratch.
I got.
If
But there is a price, you see. Like so, 2 years she's been there. You would
Yeah.
like just do not care or what?
Don't care about the past, care about the future.
Okay.
Always.
very simple.
Can I add something on
Yeah.
it? Because she wants to be a good professional, I guess, right? So if there is empathy, if there is something you like, or if you are just doing any sort of profession because of money, which happens a lot in medicine, either you go for well, parents are telling us in those days, right? Either you are a doctor or an engineer or a lawyer. So if you're going for these professions just for money, you'll be very unhappy. So better to do now as soon as possible
yeah.
than to finish live your whole career.
And you
based
regret
on
all
that.
of your life.
And you,
God.
at the age, a very future, say, what if?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
So
tell
you-
her to quit.
Yeah, but you know, like, okay, what do you think of her option of like, what does she see? Like, she thinks like to write some service and like to upgrade the university by her, even though she's a student. Like, would you say it's stupid and just like to leave the idea and leave it, or keep going in it? What do you think?
Keeping going if she's not motivated.
It's
Is
not
that- is
happening.
endless.
It's not
It
working.
makes no sense.
It's not working. Okay, we got this. Thank you so much for the
Thank you for your
answers. Yeah.
question. Very
For your
out of the
time.
box questions.
It's just interesting. Thank you.
Anton, thank you so much. Anton, thank you so much for your time, for your energy, for your patience, and for the lessons we have learned here today. I'm pretty sure we are going home with new ideas, with new ways of thinking, and that's why we're here, right? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Let's give it up for Anton, guys. And for the online ones, we see each other on the next Café Scientifique. See you, bye-bye.
Peace.